Good evening everyone. Magandang gabi dun sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayong gabi for our live broadcast. And tonight, we will be discussing about NFTs and the NFTs legal aspect here in our country and even abroad. And allow me to introduce my co-host tonight, none other than our regular co-host here on the show, Mr. Joseph Sly Sylvester. Say hi to the audience, guys. Hi.
Hey guys.
Introduce. Yan. Sige. Palala mo yung sarili mo and where you're from, Sly, from EOS Philippines.
Oh yeah. So just as a little short introduction. I was brought on to the EOS Philippines project early 2019. I've From there I started my journey with being a DApp developer under the EOS blockchain. Rough journey, but it's gotten smoother over time because you got to learn blockchain. You never stop learning in this field. It's been a great journey, and what I like about it is since the NFT hype is now it's here. I can share some of my work and some of my knowledge on this. I'm actually kind of excited for this show.
Yes, and speaking of that, salamat Sly for that introduction. And yeah, we have a giveaway for tonight. We will be giving away a simple NFT token. So stay put up to the end of the show. And without further ado, allow me to introduce tonight our speakers. We have two guests. And yeah, our guest, we have one medical doctor and a lawyer by profession. Mabibigat tong mga natin slide, mga guests natin tonight. So these are professionals and they're into. Now, one thing that's common to these two professionals, they're into NFTs too. So we will be introducing without further ado. Yes, allow me to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. He is the author of a book entitled the Fintech Laws and First Principles. Yeah, you can buy his book by your Rex bookstore. I'm proud to introduce to you si Attorney Rafael Padilla. Magandang gabi, Attorney.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, community, colleagues. Yeah, happy long weekend. And yeah, excited to discuss NFT, what's going on, as well as the legal side of this. It's interesting also if we can discuss some of the economic aspects of this. But just a disclaimer though, just need to clarify though. James, I am not really into NFT. If by into NFT you mean if I'm like an if like I purchase NFT, I honestly don't do that. Although I have handled certain matters for some clients now relating to their NFT projects.
No worries, attorney. So thank you for that clarification. And next, I will also introduce one of our guests. He is a medical doctor by profession. He is part of the management team for Althash University. It's an online university based in Chicago, Illinois, USA. And also a management team for ICOR BP or the International Council of Registered Blockchain Professionals, none other than Dr. Vince Vicente. Magandang gabi,
Ay,
Doc.
magandang gabi, attorney. Magandang gabi, Sly. John, good evening and thanks for having me here. Thanks for a really good introduction. And recently, we were just elected as part of board of directors also for the Crypto Kids Camp. That's a nonprofit based on LA. And yes, I'm really into NFT. I did almost 7 or 8 NFTs, and since then I'm having fun doing it. I think we presented one to attorney. It's a
Yes,
simple NFT,
thank
but
you.
it's an NFT.
Thank you. Yep, I wanted to say, I almost forgot that I want to thank Sir Vince, Doc Vince, by the way, because the first NFT that I hold was given by Doc Vince. Thank you very much.
You're
Yes, yeah.
welcome. You're welcome, attorney.
Yeah. So yeah, so we have two guys, two professionals, and one thing in common. They know, they understand what NFT is and how NFT works. So without further ado, no, let's go a little bit straightforward for this discussion. By the way, for those who are watching our live broadcast right now, I would like to see in the comment section, ayan, I would like to greet our first commenter, Mr. Bill James Musa. He's one of our community members. By the way, alam ko, ano to, OFW to si Sir Vin James Musa, ano? He's an OFW in the Middle East. He's watching right now and looking forward that he will be, the private message is looking forward to win our NFT giveaway. That will be care of our sponsor for tonight, EOS Philippines. So, without further ado, allow me to give the points of discussion. I will start asking questions. This will go to particularly with Sly, and since he's also a programmer. So, there's this question, kasi nga, di ba si NFT, unlike ng regular cryptocurrency, wherein the price of cryptocurrency is determined. Alam na natin, for example, when we check the graphs, when we check our website, alam natin magkano ang isang Bitcoin. Alam natin magkano yung isang Ethereum or magkano ang isang HTML coin or EOS, for example. So that's predetermined. So by the market, alam natin kung magkano. Now, the challenge with an NFT when you put it off or put it out in the market is yung presyo niyan may vary. Kasi nga, di ba, since it's similar to, doon sa mga first time marinig kung ano yung NFT, ang behavior nitong token na to is similar to an artwork, for example, which is the value varies from person to person, meaning to say it can be different depende kung sino yung tumitingin or sino yung nagbibid. So I would like to ask this to a programming perspective kay Sly, since to my co-host tonight. Sly, how would a smart contract handle a not yet determined sales price? Meaning to say, can you give us a background how a smart contract will handle yung hindi pa determinado, hindi pa natin alam kung magkano talaga yung isang item. Like an artwork, for example.
Okay, so the simple answer would be more of like an auction. So when we look at cryptocurrencies, like you said, it's already predetermined, but where is that data coming from? It's usually coming from, uh, from networks outside, usually like the exchanges, right? In terms of bid and sale, bid, ask, price sort of thing. When we look at the NFT market, it works almost the same way, but of course in the market sort of sense. Now, in the world, in terms of NFT and being auctioned off, the thing we have to understand is market discovery of this NFT. Even though, let's say, the author of the NFT claims that it's worth this much, but there are ways in where the smart contract itself can handle people's bids, meaning, okay, this one person will buy it at this price, and another person will buy it at a lower price, or maybe this other person will buy it at a higher price. So this is the market discovery. That is data that can be obtained through the smart contract. The smart contract will then use that data in terms of, what is the price range of all this, and if programmed correctly, you can find the average. That average will then be used to determine the price of that NFT. That is one way of looking at it. So that's how smart contracts will determine the price of NFTs, is through how it handles the data. And in this scenario, it would be more of like an auction sale or some kind of market discovery mechanism built into the smart contract to determine price.
Okay, thank you very much, Sly, for that explanation. But let me just ask you a little bit more clarification, meaning to say it can be programmed na, for example, whoever has the highest bid or the lowest bid depends on the parameters that you guys will, or the programmer or the owner of the NFT will set up. That's how they handle pricing, right?
That is correct. It can be programmed into the smart contract for that sort of thing, yes.
Okay. Pero this one kasi, di ba, the price is determined by via cryptocurrency or token. So, ibig sabihin, depende kung if it's a token relative to that particular artwork or item or a cryptocurrency of some sorts. Now, my question would be, our quest may mga nagtatanong, may mga encounter tayong question along the way. If the platform is paid or if the platform where it is being bid is paid cash by a buyer, how will the platform reconcile? This goes to everyone who has an experience. Like, for example, maybe Doc Vince has an experience having this kind of transaction in the past, wherein a buyer wants to settle fiat currency or cash. How does the platform or how does the platform handles that?
Okay, so how most of these NFT marketplaces handle it is that, for example, since I'm an EOS developer, I use the IO software, so I can speak on that behalf. So, for example, I use this site called actually I use two sites. SimpleMarket.io, for example, is one of them that I use. So I log into my EOS account or my Wax account. That account has the native token, EOS or Wax. Now, in terms of settlement of, let's say I obtain this NFT, meaning I look through the marketplace, I like that NFT, I want to buy it, provided that my EOS account, because that is what I used to log into that marketplace, yeah, has the funds to purchase that NFT I like on that marketplace, it is then settled right then and there. Yeah. So in actuality, it is my account, not the website that handles it. It's my account that uses, let's say, SimpleMarket.io, which is an NFT marketplace, that um, interacts with the NFT marketplace to obtain that NFT, and then it will deduct. Let's say the NFT is worth, let's say, 5 EOS. It will deduct 5 EOS from my account, my EOS account. Yeah, so that's how the settlement is handled. Again, it's built into the smart contract. Okay.
Okay, that's a very nice explanation. So meaning to say for our listeners who just came in, the actually the Slice trying to explain that for the settlement, kailangan mo magkaroon ng required na token or cryptocurrency. So if you're settling it with cash, then you have to find someone who is selling a token or a cryptocurrency worth that amount. So that's how the NFT is being settled. So yeah, thank you very much for that explanation. Now, maraming question on NFT about copyrights. So maybe this part is a little bit more legal. So I'll be asking. Anyone from the panel can answer this, but I would also like to hear on the legal aspect of it. Yung copyright, how does copyright law apply to a NFT art? Attorney, would you
Okay.
mind answering that
Okay, can
question?
I help? Okay. And then just to level set everybody, let's remind our audience, NFT stands for non-fungible tokens. No, the only similarity it has with other cryptocurrencies or digital asset is it's a token, it's a digital asset, right? I hope you can hear me clearly. Okay. But what does fungibility means? No, it seems to be hyper technical term, but somehow the community now has some understanding of what fungibility or non-fungibility means. When you say fungibility, what that means is something is capable of substitution. So if we can use Bitcoin as an example, my one Bitcoin can be substituted by James one Bitcoin. It's the same thing. Or my one EOS is equivalent and can be substituted to Slice EOS, or my Ethereum, one Ethereum can be substituted by serving some one Ether as well. But when it comes to this so-called non-fungible tokens, obviously, the artwork that Doc Vince gave me about 3 weeks ago is not identical to, for example, the NFT that Sly will give me later after the show. I think he's giving away some NFT. So it's not capable of substitution because they're not identical. Okay, so that's what we mean by non fungibility. And what does this mean? Yeah, what's the benefit of that non-fungibility? Remember that in the case of Bitcoin, one of the significant factor that makes Bitcoin valuable is, of course, several factors, but one is scarcity, right? The fact that there are only 21 million Bitcoins available is a critical factor in the analysis why we give Bitcoin that much value. Okay. In the case of NFT, and now I know that there are certain NFTs that can be minted in several copies, but they're still rare. I get that. But when NFT started, if you remember, this was sometime in, I think, around September or October of 2017, when Dapper Labs, no, the team behind the project behind CryptoKitties, made a presentation in Waterloo in Denver. They presented for the first time the concept of ERCs, format, no, the standard ERC 721 for non-fungible tokens. No. Some would trace the origin of NFT much earlier, and I get that. But I think that the Cambrian explosion, no, of NFT started with CryptoKitties. No? And in CryptoKitties, if you remember how this started, you can only mint one, no, per cat. No? And that is indeed, no, if we talk about like scarcity, that's extreme ultimate scarcity that makes that token valuable. And that is also an important factor in analyzing the value of NFTs, no? Of these non-fungible tokens. And there are different forms of NFTs also. Okay, you have an artwork, for example. You can have a media, which can be a video or an audio file. You can even have a published work, like an ebook, for example, as an NFT. You can have collectibles as an NFT. You can also have what else? No, of course, in-app game items or collectibles as NFTs. That's all possible. So that there are many things. There are various digital assets that you can mint or create using NFT as a technology. But how does this impact copyright? No? Actually, there's really nothing that NFT changes in terms of the analysis. Now, when we analyze the potential copyright issues, when it comes to these transactions, like the transfer of an artwork, it's essentially the same, substantially the same as if we don't have an NFT or a token. The only value or the only benefit or advantage of having that NFT token is it gives some proof or evidence or record, and that it is being recorded, the transaction is being recorded more or less in a reliable platform such as a blockchain network. No? Now, another interesting thing with NFTs is how NFTs has now incited discussions about copyright issues. Now, how important these rights are, these intellectual properties. You see, for example, in the case of James and Sly, they've been recording several sessions of the webinar, even the case of Doc Vince. But I'm not sure if it was ever asked, no, what value am I adding, or is there any value in terms of the intellectual property of the content I'm producing? But the clear answer is yes, no, right? But we never really ask ourselves that question. But because of NFT, right now we're asking these types of questions. And it also presents us an opportunity to discuss some first principles when it comes to copyright and intellectual property. And right now we're talking about that. But one important, and we can go into the details of that. But one important thing that I'll have to clarify to our community is the NFT as a technology doesn't add anything in terms of copyright. It doesn't give you more right. It doesn't give you more obligations as well. No? In the same manner as what the copyright law has already given to copyrightable works.
Okay. Thank you, attorney, for that explanation. But I have a follow-up question though in terms of that. So having said it, having said that na meron tayong 'di ba, hindi naman siya talaga makakadagdag or makakabawas dun sa
Correct.
copyright. The question will be, what if the platform wanted to display the artwork, yung artwork or yung NFT. 'Di ba? It's tied up to, for example, it's tied up to an artwork na may copyright. So how do we treat that? Just
Okay.
to for the knowledge of our
Okay.
audience.
So the direct answer to that question is the platform cannot do that without the permission of the author, right? Okay. The fact that somebody else owns the NFT now, the token, does not divest the author of this work, copyrightable work, the rights that arises from his ownership. Kasi the NFT token doesn't remove that right. Eh. And in the same and also the fact that the NFT platform has assisted in the minting or facilitated the minting of the token or even facilitated the transfer or the exchanges of these tokens, it doesn't give them any right higher than the right that is exercised by the owner itself. Ito nga yung sinasabi natin kanina. Not because this is NFT doesn't mean that the NFT platforms can exercise those intellectual property that arises from the copyrightable work, or the buyer of the token now exercises the copyright or the intellectual property from that token. Kasi hindi nata-transfer yon ni NFT. Actually, ang nata-transfer mo lang talaga is the token, and the fact that you own that token, but there's really nothing else. The token might say, or it might say that according to the terms of the NFT or even the terms of the platform, that specific rights attaches to this NFT. That's true. That's correct, right? But only according to the terms stipulated in the platform, or also as agreed or provided by the author of the copyrighted work. No, yun lang, because in that case it becomes now a license. No, but without the author specifically providing that you as owner of this token now enjoys these rights, no, hindi madadivest automatically yung right ng copyrightable work, no. A good metaphor here is, if you remember before, when we come to analyze the potential legal and regulatory implications of certain activities like money transfer or initial coin offerings, no, we said before that the fact that we're using cryptocurrency doesn't make existing rules irrelevant, no, because they are still relevant. Same thing here, right? The fact that we're using NFT does not mean that tapon na yung mga rules natin pagdating sa copyright. Kasi what determines the right now is whoever holds the token. Not so. No, kahit pa may token yan, no, the token itself, even if it's transferred several times, no, it does not divest the author, the original author of the copyrighted work, the rights that arises from his authorship. And these rights are created by law and cannot just be stipulated and transferred, no, without specific authority or express approval by the copyright owner.
Okay. That was a very, very good explanation by Attorney. Salamat, Attorney, by the way, for enlightening us with that part. Now, this one I would like to ask siguro
James.
with Doc Vince, if he will allow me to ask this. Kasi he was able to, sabi niya, he has like 7 NFTs in the past. Now, this goes to you, Doc. Now, having said that, if the sales platform, yung sa'yo ba, paano ba yung ano mo, yung naging NFT mo? Is it the sales platform that minted your NFT or you are the one who minted the NFT?
Okay. Before I'll answer that question, let me add with regards to the copyright. The value, you could put any value on your NFT. You could put 1 Bitcoin or 10,000 Ethereums on the value of your NFT. But the real value is determined by the market. Kung merong bibili sa NFT mo. Now, what would really help is, like you said before, like Attorney said, if there's a permission coming from the person who did the art, that would also increase the value, that would increase the saleability of your NFT. Because anyone can do an NFT, you just copy something from the internet and then make an NFT out of it. But if you have a permission coming from the maker, the creator of that art, that would put an additional value to your NFT and the market would see it. So you have several platforms, Rareable, Mintable, and with regards to that, when you upload an NFT, there's a secret folder that would wherein you could add. So what I'm doing right now, I was using several platforms, Mintable, Rareable, and there's the NBA thing. What I did is, since at first I am not the creator, I went to the creator himself and asked for a permission certificate of authenticity, that he is the one who did this uh, art, and he signed it, and there's a release form. So I added that on the additional folder of the NFT. That makes it something like, oh, ito pala siyang gumawa nito. So it provides a value on my NFT, and the market will see it. Oh, if this is original, then I'm gonna buy it. But if the market will say, oh, I've seen that everywhere, I'm not gonna buy one Ethereum. How sure am I if this is the original NFT? So that's number one. Now, answering your question with regards to uh, if I was the one who minted it or the platform minted it, there are different platforms. For example, Mintable, they will mint it for you, so it will be free. So you don't have to pay anything. The only time that you would pay, if I think it's the buyer who will pay for it once they bought your NFT. Now, Rareable, you will have to pay for it, yeah, an Ethereum, and then it will be minted there. Then after that, once it's being transferred to the buyer himself, it's either the buyer will pay for it, or like what we did for attorney is, we, as a token of appreciation, as uh, uh, paid for that transfer of that NFT. So I hope that answers some of the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Doc. No, pero meron pa akong follow-up question dyan, if you will allow, no? Yung NFT kasi na ginawa mo, you said you are the ones who actually, well, as far as I understand, you are the one who performed yung minting ng NFT art. Tama ba? You did the minting of the NFT art that you kasi you're an artist then at the same time, aside from being medical doctor, so you have your own artwork. You minted that, then ang 'di ba, having appear na ikaw yung nag-generate as an artist. Now, what if my question is, what if the platform is the one who minted the NFT for you? You created the artwork and the platform minted the NFT for you. Ano ba 'yon? Will that appear as parang will that give some sort of ownership rights or claims for for the platform, or how does that work? Yeah. Can you please elaborate more on that?
Yeah, I think Sly could answer that better. But for example, if it's rareable and you will have that minted, all they have, basically they're just doing the transaction for you. They don't have the ownership of the NFT. They'll just execute the smart contract. So you pay for the gas fee, for the minting fee on that platform. So that's what Rarible did for me. So I paid for the minting, but the ownership still remains to you, since you are the one who owns and built the NFT. Now, with regards to Mintable, they did it for free because, like I said, I was doing two platforms. Mintable, they were doing it for free. Walang bayad yun. And once there is a sell, that's the time they would ask for a fee, transaction fee, gas fee, whatever the smart contract was. But the thing is, with regards to the ownership, you're still the owner. The platforms are just there to sell your product. They're not there to get the ownership.
Yes. Thank you for that clarification, Doc. Now, ngayon, ang next question ko, this goes for everyone. Anyone can answer this one. So, it's definitely, anyone can mint their own NFT and then pwede mong ilagak yan o ilagay yan dun sa mga available na marketplace for selling, for sale, as a sales platform. Now, if you are the ones who minted your NFT, papaano, di ba, is there, like, how does it work? Kung paano ba nag-work yung NFT inside the platform to ensure that the NFT is nandoon talaga siya sa loob ng sales platform. Like, maybe you can share with our audience some experience of actual NFT trades that you did wherein nilagay niyo siya dun sa platform for sale, or some transaction in the past that happened. How did they ensure na yung NFT nandun siya sa platform, na transfer yung NFT dun sa sales platform?
I think you can see this in the blockchain, right? You can see this in the blockchain. Like in the case of Doc Vince, the NFT that you sent me, right? There was a platform you said where I can see the NFT, right? And I saw it. It was really astonishing. Yeah, thank you for that. No, for that NFT. But even before I checked the website, no, I actually checked Etherscan, and I saw that it's there. Of course, in Etherscan, I won't see an artwork, right? Because it's just a record, no, it's Etherscan is only an interface that provides you the record of transactions within the Ethereum blockchain. It obviously will not show you an artwork. It's like I go to Etherscan and I'd see an artwork there. No, it doesn't work that way. I have to go to this website, right, to that platform to see the artwork that Doc Vince gave me. But if you're asking for a proof that I really received it, it's not even necessary for me to go through that platform. No, I just have to go to Etherscan. Doc Vince asked me my email, my Ethereum address. Okay, and I checked my Ethereum address and saw that it's there already. So I think that's a simple way of verifying if you really indeed receive the NFT that is being promised to be delivered by the platform to you.
Okay, thank you, attorney, for that explanation. No, I've heard, and I saw on some bidding, nanood ako ng mga bidding nitong mga this type of NFT, particularly with yan yung sinabing example kanina ni attorney, yung crypto kitties, marami pa yan, iba-iba. So, pero yung mga for the physical artwork, for example, we saw that the physical artwork is indeed possessed by the actual, it's actually possessed by the seller o yung sales platform kung saan nilagay yung NFT. So, one reason why a sales platform actually takes possession of the physical art is to make sure na yung seller hindi yan bebenta din sa iba pa. For example, if an NFT is backed by an actual painting, so this is an NFT on the blockchain, this is an actual painting, the actual painting should be possessed by the NFT seller, yung NFT sales platform, to make sure that that particular physical item cannot be sold to someone else. Now, is there a way to do this without taking title of the NFT? Or I mean, hindi na kailangan you don't need to take the title to the NFT. Pwede ba yun na hindi na ipopossess yung art, or is there any way to actually do a workaround without having to do that for physical art?
Okay.
Doc Vince,
can I answer unless Doc Vince wants to
answer?
Yes,
attorney.
Okay.
Yes.
So if the question is if it's possible for the NFT to like be viewed or to exist in other platforms, right? If that is possible, I think that's possible. No? Technology will enable NFTs to exist in multiple platforms. That's just like yung question natin on how can blockchain networks or decentralized applications interoperate. And it was a problem before, but we're obviously solving that already. So in the case of NFT, eventually, the technology will improve. Ngayon siguro na one of the reasons why many platforms are ensuring that those NFTs can be viewed only in specific platforms is partially because of security. And eventually that security problem will be resolved, and now an NFT now can be viewed in multiple platforms. No? So I think that's possible definitely. But what's also clear right now, mapapansin nyo, iba-iba. Wala tayong standard ngayon. Iba-iba. We have this, when we speak of intellectual property and specifically copyright, we're referring to a bundle of rights. Okay? Hindi lang yan isang right, no? And because it's a bundle of rights, you can unbundle it, no? The author can decide on what they can include in that bundle of rights that they're going to transfer. Or in the case of the example given by Sir Vince kanina, to prove na talagang hindi siya gagawa ng isa pang NFT, is there's going to be i-endorse niya or transfer niya pati yung certificate of authenticity, which is standard practice by the way in traditional conventional artwork, di ba? As a proof also of that. So I think this will be fixed eventually, but right now we're still very early. Now that there are no standards yet, terms and conditions vary, and this is also important when it comes to valuing, no, and understanding the NFT that you are buying, no, because not all NFTs are the same. They vary in terms of the rights that you will enjoy as an NFT token holder, and so therefore you have to consider that in the pricing of the token that you, or in the of the NFT that you're buying.
Okay, thank you, attorney, for the clarification. So yeah, having said that, ang ating NFT by the, so na-mention ng attorney that the NFT with the standard right now, even for the Philippines or maybe as a community as a whole, ay hindi pa determined. So that's the reason why such is not yet possible, no, na hindi kumpiskahin, kailangan or hindi i-possess ng NFT holder yung actual art sa ngayon, but maybe in time when we actually fix kung magkakaroon na siguro ng mga cross-chain systems, no, which is actually being done right now. So for the benefit of those who are watching, the reason why that question was posted, by the way, kasi I actually sorted some of these questions coming from the community din. Ito yung mga tanong ng mga gustong mag-venture sa NFT, ng mga artists, ng mga musicians. So, ayan, that's what we are trying to clarify right now. So, yun nga, yung benefit, for the benefit of those who do not yet understand, there are some developments happening in the technology sphere right now wherein nangyayari na yung mga possible cross-chains. So, if that will be improved on, yung sinasabi ni attorney kanina, if that will be improved on in the latter part, maybe in the near future, then maybe, just maybe, we don't need to do the possession of the actual artwork. And the NFT itself, being bid on several platforms, can stand with the value, no, nagbabak sa kanya like a real or a physical painting or art. Ayan.
James,
Yes,
sorry, attorney. There are different platforms with regards to NFTs. Kanina na mention about there's OpenSea, you have mintable, rarible, and what's good about OpenSea is once you have a minted NFT coming from rarible, that can be open at OpenSea because you are still using the same Ethereum wallet, so the token can be seen. Now, with regards to the physical art and the NFT digital art, like attorney said, we are really on the early stage. There's no standard. There's no hardcore protocols or whatever regulations that there is in the marketplace. Now I think it's the different platforms who determines that. So there's one platform that they would require, there's a physical product with the NFT. So once it is being bought the NFT, they would deliver it. Yung isang physical product na I really forgot what the name of that platform, but is it B or what? Wherein they would send if you have the YouTube 1,000 subscribers, something like that, they would put that on a plate and the NFT is there. So you have the digital form of NFT on your Ethereum wallet, and you have the art itself being printed, something like a frame, and it has that QR code there. So it really depends. It's a free for all, and there's no standards yet with regards to having the physical or having the digital art itself. So just to add on that, you were saying, attorney, go ahead.
No, also in relation to what you said, no standards. But just to clarify, the only standard that we have right now is the token creation, no, ERC 721. Tapos meron pang mga improvements, no. But meron din sa ibang platform. So that's the only one. But when I mentioned no standards yet, and Doc Vince, correct me if I'm wrong, but this might be what you mean as well. When we say that there are no standards yet, what we mean is when it comes to the commercial arrangements, no, how these platforms are set up, what's the business model, all right, what bundle of rights are being transferred. Wala pa. Iba-iba pa yan. And okay lang yan, wala yung problem kasi we're at a very early stage, we're still creating the best practices, and eventually we will develop those standards, no?
Yeah, that's correct, attorney. That's what I meant. And also, James, to the community that you said they were really thinking about doing the NFT. This is not an overnight thing wherein you put one NFT and then you'll get rich. It they will buy it right away. You'll get one Ethereum. No, you also have to do your work, and it's not a quick scheme wherein you make an NFT and you become uh, millionaire kagad. So there's certain things that you should do, observe, and follow so that you could, the value of your NFT goes up. But it's not just once it's there, one Ethereum kagad or one Bitcoin.
Of course, of course. Very no, medyo maganda yung discussion natin tonight with NFT. But before we continue, I just would like to remind everyone who is watching us tonight, no, to stay tuned. Huwag muna kayong aalis kasi we are giving away an NFT by the end of this session. We will be raffling off an NFT. Diba? Gusto nyo ba ng NFT, guys? So now, having said that, I would like to see on the comment section, on the comment box right now, write down yung mga lugar kung saan kayo galing. And yan, ayan, nakita ko, good evening to Bok Parse, yan. Good evening, ayan. I can see also, Jonathan Tinoco is also on watching us right now. Magandang gabi, Jonathan Tinoco. So now, I would like you guys to actually write down on the comment section saan kayo mga nanggaling na mga lugar. So for you to qualify on the NFT raffle that we will be giving off tonight, you have to comment on the comment section and share it to your wall. Itong broadcast natin. Okay? So those who are watching, and Bin James Musa said from Saudi, you have to share this broadcast right now. Diba? Para makasama ka dun sa mga magpaparaffle tayo. Kailangan nandun kayo sa ating comment section, comment box para makasama sa ating raffle. Alright. So, thank you, thank you. Now, let's go back to our discussion tonight. So, ngayon, napakaganda ng ating mga discussion natin about NFT. We talk about the minting, we talk about ownership, and we talk about decoupling. Now, can anybody at all, napag-usapan na natin yung value depende yan sa value, but having said that, with your experience handling or your knowledge with NFT, ano talaga yung mga key factors that makes NFT valuable aside from rarity? Alam na natin, rarity will mean that the NFT will become valuable. Now, aside from being rare, can we elaborate on how, like sabi ni Dr. kailangan pagtrabahuhan niya yan, and everything. So ngayon, having said that, can we elaborate more? How can we work on an NFT and make it valuable?
Can I go first? I won't be staying here for long because I got very important thing to finish. But before I'm gonna answer that, thanks everyone for watching here. Attorney Sly, thank you. John, thank you. It's really an honor to be here. Now, answering the question, tip lang, number one is you really have to be a good artist. you have to be somebody else. Number two, if you know an influencer, a big time influencer such as Mark Cuban will buy your NFT. If he buys your NFT and people will see that, that's something else. So the thing is, you should have collectors, no? Great collectors who will buy your NFT. For example, if you have Manny Pacquiao buying your NFT, that's something else. You'll get your name up there. And then when he sells that, you get a commission. So if there's a second sell, one Ethereum, one Bitcoin, you get a second sell. So I guess those are the two things. I have several more, but I really have to go. Thank you, and God bless all of you. Pasensya na ha.
No problem, Doc Vince, and
Hi,
thank
Doc.
you for gracing us with your presence tonight. No, maraming salamat. By the way, Doc Vince from Althash University and ICOR BP or International Council of Registered Blockchain Professionals. Salamat, Doc. Yeah, we will continue our discussion. So, yeah, nabanggit ni Doc Vince that you have to have like the backing of professional influencers, etc. And that's how you, baka, attorney, baka meron ka pang gustong idagdag
No,
on
actually,
how.
yeah, nothing else to add except for one thing that for me is most important, and
Sige
that's
po.
hard work. Okay. Oh, of course, given talent. Hindi naman not everyone is gifted with a talent to create an artwork. But even if you're a talented artist, the one that really creates the value in your work, as far as I'm concerned, is hard work. What do I mean by this? First, let's try to remember, value here, tsaka yung valuation natin sa mga artwork are always subjective. There's no objective way of attributing value to an artwork. It's always subjective. No? So we can be jealous as much as we want. Why people was able to sell his artwork, no, the first 5,000 days, no, for 69 million. We will be jealous for that, but not everyone is as talented as that, no. Pero kahit pa, even if you are a talented artist, there's one thing that other artists did not necessarily have that people had, no, and that's hard work. Okay. If you ask me personally, bubble lang ba? Kasi well, this is true, and probably most of you will agree. There's really an NFT bubble. That's true. Okay. All right. Pero yung kay Bipol, no, he was able to sell the artwork, no, first 5,000 days for 69 million USD. Bubble lang ba 'yon? All right? I don't think so. You know why? Because there was really hard work that was put into that work. Why? If I'm correct, if I understood it correctly, 'di ba? That artwork represented, 'di ba? Years of artwork that he has done on a daily basis. He had the discipline, the consistency of doing an artwork one per day. Okay. Since I think 2005, 2006, 2007, like what, 15 years ago. And then all of that was consolidated in this artwork. Kaya nga collated, siya, di ba? Collage siya ng mga And that's very important. And kahit basahin niyo yung book ni Saifedean Ammous, no, Bitcoin Standard, no. If you ask him, what makes the artwork that was created by, di ba, by mga Italian artists, no, during the Renaissance period, no. It was because they were spending years creating those difficult artwork, no. Hindi meron pa nga siyang tinatawag na perversion of art, where there are certain artwork that can be valued to like 6, di ba? Outrageous price, even though that artwork was created for like 15 minutes, no. That's perversion to him, and if you ask me, that's perversion for me as well. Now, for me, if you ask me personally, the only way we can somehow value, if not objectively, but somehow appropriate, kasi the time of the person is very important. If you can contribute as much as time in one artwork, I think that's the one that really creates value for your work. No? So for the artists there, I think walang shortcut dito. You really have to work hard for your artwork, no, to create value.
Okay. Thank you, attorney, for that valuable input. Meron akong question. You may choose or you may not answer this kasi medyo sensitive. This is a sensitive question. This is not part nung napagkwentuhan natin. Kasi this is a private message that I received just now. So sabi niya kasi, hindi wants to remain anonymous because baka daw, alam mo na, ayaw niya mabash and ayaw niyang baka huntingin daw siya ng ibang mga nanonood sa atin. But he is asking, in the physical art itself, yung hindi pa NFT I mean, we are talking about the art galleries, yung mga painting, yan, any artwork, no, physical, hindi NFT. Meron daw dyan mga money play. Money play. Let's put it that way. There's a money play on this artwork, making those artwork away somehow, no? Or actually funnel mga illicit funds.
Illicit funds.
Illicit
Correct.
funds. So ngayon, having NFT, ang tanong niya, may iwasan ba 'yon o lalo pang masunod? This is a personal hindi to subjected to your legal opinion. This can be subjected to your personal opinion. On your personal opinion, will this illicit money trade, no, or money funneling, can this be parang trace or ma-prevent, having said that we have the NFT technology right now, or mas lalo pa yang mas magiging rampant?
Okay, to answer first your question, the answer is yes, no. If we can digitize most of this traditional artwork by having an NFT version, okay, and we can follow the tracks, no, of the transactions, we can perhaps enable law enforcement authorities to properly investigate and apprehend, no, money launderers, no. But if I can rephrase your question, does NFT enhance the risk for money laundering when it comes to artwork? Okay, the clear answer to that is yes as well. No? Okay, and actually I want to touch on this subject kasi when we speak of yung legal implications or legal consequences of NFT, no, it touches different areas of law. I've listed or noted some of them. One is copyright, which we have been discussing substantially earlier in the show. Diba? Second is privacy, no, the privacy of those individuals that are being featured in some of this NFT work. Okay. Third is this aspect, actually, which is not being addressed right now, the money laundering risks attaching to NFT, especially when it comes to artwork. Kasi ano yan we have already established the fact that artwork, okay, and the art market is exposed to significant money laundering risks. It's common for money launderers to speculate on artwork or to purchase artwork as a way to launder, diba, illicit funds. Okay. And pagdating sa artwork, no, yung standards natin pagdating diyan, no, meron na tayo, the Financial Action Task Force has already clearly outlined, no, yung mga art auctions firm, mga kung ano yung mga expectations from them, no, to prevent their platform from being used for money laundering. Pero sa NFT wala pa. But if you ask me, are those standards or recommendations how to address, no, the money laundering risks associated to NFT, should they be applied to NFT or crypto art as well? The answer is yes. Now, look into the website of many of these NFT platforms. Tingnan nyo, may AML policy ba sila? Okay. I'll be interested to know kung meron among these platforms na may AML policy. Mapapansin nyo, most of them, wala. Okay. And you might say, ba't kailangan ng AML policy dyan? Eh, di ba? NFT to eh. Di ba? Crypto to eh. Di ba? But those arguments are not so different from what exchanges were saying before. na this is crypto. Therefore, we don't need AML policy for this. It's not so different also from what ICO projects used to say before. That this is ICO, we don't need to KYC our users. But eventually, best practices were established na kahit crypto exchange ka pa, mag-KYC ka. At may mga money laundering risks na involved pagdating sa operation ng crypto exchanges that therefore these operators need to ensure that their platform are not being used for money laundering. And when it comes to crypto exchanges, klarong-klaro na rin yung standard natin dyan, yung guidance, how to avoid the platform from being used for money laundering. FATF already has rules when it comes to this. Wala pa pagdating sa NFT, alright? Merong proposal right now sa FATF, no? There's a recommendation to update the guidance for virtual assets to also cover NFTs. So it's babantayan natin yon. But aside from that, even the existing rules when it comes to guidances for money laundering risks of the art market, no, that can be applied already to many of these NFT marketplaces that facilitates the exchange of crypto art.
Okay. Very very interesting topic. And I think, attorney, having said that this is all, and I believe you will agree on here, this is on an infantile stage, then we hope to also be an enabler for our lawmakers and our yung mga regulators natin to actually be guided on what we are doing here right now tonight. This can signal a beginning on how we can help guide regulators on drafting yung mga potential policies with regards to how this NFT thing is on the works. And also that's the reason why wala na si Doc Vince rito, but I would like to drop this comment as well in his behalf. That maybe that's the reason why mga industry captains or people like us mga early adopters of this technology, we wanted to have at least somehow standardization. And us, me and Doc Vince, we're part of this international organization trying to put some guidance, hindi naman para magkaroon ng alam natin, every country and every jurisdiction will have their separate rules, regulations, and law when it comes to this particular matter. But we can help set guides. That's the reason why we have established also, yun yung pinag-uusapan yung nare-represent ni Doc Vince kanina, the International Council of Registered Blockchain Professionals, to actually help guide our regulators pagdating sa mga ganyan. And thank you by the way, attorney. Now, baka may gusto ko pa sabihin, attorney, before we proceed with our raffle, because it's already 8 p.m. now, we will be raffling off an NFT today. So those who wanted to own an NFT, just write down on the comment section right now para masama po kayo sa raffle. So we have 9 unique comments as of writing. So before we raffle off our item, I would like to ask our guest speaker tonight if he would like to say something more about NFT and its legal aspect. Go on, attorney.
No, just a quick na lang siguro note on other areas that an NFT artist or an NFT marketplace operator should consider, or for you as a buyer or an investor in NFTs. Now, napansin ko nga sa discussion natin ngayon medyo focus pagdating sa artwork But let's just clarify to our audience, there is more to NFT than just artwork. Marami pa yan. Music, media, published work, ebook, collectibles, ang dami talaga. Okay. But some of the areas that you need to consider, whether again you're a creator, an NFT marketplace operator, or you're an investor, is you have to consider also securities law. Okay. NFTs most likely are not securities, so that's good news. Okay, that's good news. Pero yung analysis kasi ng whether this could be considered as a securities depends on facts and circumstances. So best pa rin siguro if you have access to lawyer, then seek the counsel of a lawyer. Pero etong red flag na kailangang iwasan or that you have to consider kung in analyzing whether your NFT project is resorting to a securities offering. No, if what you're doing is you're telling your users, now what we're going to do is we're going to pool funds so that we can purchase an NFT. Like for example, we want to buy people, no? Tapos gagawin natin, fractionalize natin yan, no? Yung circumstance na yon could lead towards a conclusion na baka security yan. So ingat dyan. No? Another angle is tax, no? Yung tax implication. So from the perspective of the creator, there is usually a special tax rate when it comes to copyrighted work. So please consider that. And for the traders naman, o doon sa nag-speculate sa NFT, no, please consider, not because this is NFT does not mean that it's not taxable. I think that's all that I need to emphasize. Baka isipin nyo kasi NFT to, wala tong tax implication. If you're gaining something from dealing with NFT, all right, in substance, no, that is subject to income tax if you're earning something from that. No? And then lastly, privacy. Let's respect, always very important. No? Let's respect the privacy of the creators of this NFT, all right, certain rights that they have, moral rights, as well as the subjects of the NFT. No, for example, if it's a meme, o lalo na sa meme, no, gamitin mo, for example, gumawa ka ng meme ni Luis Manzano, di ba? Baka sabihin mo dahil NFT mo yan, yung meme na yan, di ba? You can just trade that or create multiple NFTs of Luis Manzano. Not so. You need his permission, of course, no. So that's another area, and marami pang nuances yan, but those are the most important points when it comes to these different aspects of the law. That's all.
Thank you. Very enlightening, no, attorney. And yeah, tama ka. It's not just on the artwork. And pati sa meme. We're talking about meme. Now, if you are to involve a personality, you have to ask his or her permission. Thank you. Now, it's raffle time. Raffle time, guys. Dun sa mga hindi pa nakakapag-comment or nakakapag-share ng ating broadcast, it's not too late. I will be sharing my screen now para ipakita for transparency purposes at meron tayong lawyer representative dito to validate our raffle tonight. So, I'll be sharing my screen. Ayan. Kita ba yung screen ko, co-host Sly?
Yeah, I see it. It's good.
Yep. Sige, let's check on who among our commenters, no? I'll just get the comments right now. Get the comments. We have 10 unique comments. So hindi counted yung mga ano rito. Mga nag-double comments. So we have like more than 20 comments na right now. But we have 10 unique comments and we will start picking a winner. Isa lang po yung mananalo ng ating NFT right now. So Sly here will explain how you can claim your NFT. Go on, Sly.
All right. So while John here gets everything set up. So this is how it works, guys. So the winner of tonight's raffle basically will receive an NFT from the Resistance Trader community. Now, in order for you to actually get this NFT, if you win, well, because this NFT was built on EOSI.io software, but more specifically on the Wax blockchain, what you'll need to do is you'll need to get a Wax chain blockchain account. And the great thing about Wax is they give away blockchain accounts for free, and they're very user friendly. Those who are not new, those who are new to the blockchain, you'll understand the great thing about Wax is that when you sign up, all it requires is a username, an email. You can sign up with using your email. Actually, there's 8 different ways you can sign up for a Wax account: Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, so on and so forth. James, let me see what we can do here. So let me provide the address.
You want to share your screen para ipakita sa audience natin?
Actually, here's what I'll do instead. Give me a second. Here it is.
While Sly's on it, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our guest tonight, no? Si Doc Vince, who just left for another meeting. And of course, our friend and our guest also, Attorney Rafael Padilla.
Thank you very much. Hope to do
Baka gusto mo rin, no? By the way, he's also an author of book. Pwede mo, attorney, i-plug in habang inaayos ni Sly ang ating
Okay.
NFT rapper. You can share to our audience tonight, yung about sa book mo and where they can actually find it. Sige po.
Okay, so last year I wrote a book. It's Fintech Law and First Principles, public bookstore. It's available on all Rex bookstore branches, and it's also available online. You just have to visit Rex bookstores online website to be able to purchase a copy of the book. In chapter 2 and chapter 3 of the book, I covered the subject of cryptocurrency and blockchain. I did not cover NFT, frankly, because it's a non-financial use case. Right? And the book is obviously fintech, financial technology focused.
Okay, thank you, attorney. Tumatanggap na raw ba ng Bitcoin ng Rex? Tumatanggap na raw ba ng Bitcoin ng Rex? We will have to enable them. Ayan. Okay ka na, Sly? Can you share?
Yeah, give me a second.
Ayan. So, habang nag-aano si Sly again, that's Attorney Rafael Padilla with his book entitled Fintech Law and First Principles. Ayan.
Okay.
So, this is a wax.
Okay, so here it is. So it's called the Wax Cloud Wallet. So it's very user friendly, especially to those who are new to blockchain. And again, you can sign up with a free Wax Cloud account using Facebook, Gmail, a Steam account, and so on and so forth. So once you get that set up, basically what's going to happen is that you're going to get your own Wax Cloud wallet, as you can see in this picture. Okay, so I'll sort of sign into mine so I can allow everyone to see what happens when you get your Wax Cloud wallet. Okay, so boats, yeah, boats. Okay. Okay, so this is what happens. You log in once you get your account set up. Okay, so this is my dashboard basically. Okay, and that's what your dashboard is going to look like as well. Okay, so in terms of the NFTs, this is the raffle that we're going to give away tonight. This is something that I created, and yes, it's my work. So I'll provide that if you need to. So I created this collection called the Resistance Trader NFT Collectibles, and what we're going to give away tonight is an NFT the Resistance Trader NFT, something that I created, and this is what we're going to give away to our community tonight. Okay.
Wow, astig. Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Okay. I'll stop sharing my screen. So go ahead.
Okay, so yan, nakita na ninyo yung ibibigay nating digital artwork for tonight. Let's raffle off. I'll share my screen kung sino yung mapalad na nag-iisa na nakakakuha ng ating NFT. We'll just get the comments. We have 10 unique comments and now start picking up. By the way, for those of you who doesn't have a Wax wallet yet, we will put on the comment section the URL where you can create your Wax wallet to claim this NFT. Okay, let's start. Ayan, so raffling off. And we have a winner. Our winner for tonight is none other than Bok Parce. Ayan. Bok, congratulations. Congratulations, Bok, no, for your NFT. We will be sending in your NFT. We'll give you instruction. We'll contact you. Just message us on our Facebook account. Maraming salamat for joining us tonight. And again, this is James Unove, the community manager of the Resistance Trader with Sly of EOS Philippines, and of course our guest tonight, ang mabait at syempre poging-pogi si Attorney Rafael Padilla. Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Sly. And God bless us all. Maraming salamat.
All right,
Stay safe,
guys.
guys.
Happy
Stay
weekend.
safe. Happy long
Happy
weekend.
bye.